Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to Crafted Chaos. Now, you probably don't recognize it because we are now playing with shaders. I got a light shader pack to put onto our world just to try out for one episode to see how it goes. Now, if I get a bunch of comments screaming at me telling me to go back to playing without shaders, I will definitely do that. I just wanted to experiment with a couple of different things. So for today's episode at least, we will be sticking with the shaders. Now, we are finishing up the factory that we started in the last episode. We got our warehouse complete. Today we are building the rest of it. And I have gathered up what will hopefully be enough resources to get us finished with this build. Ignore the steel essence in there. So we have a lot of bricks, of course the blackstone for the roof, smooth quartz for the trim, and we have our glass and steel for the windows and the smokestacks. If we step inside here, we will see it actually looks pretty good with the shaders, in my opinion, especially around midday when we start to get that light spilling in from the ceiling. So we are going to fly up to our little brick wall right up here, and we will go ahead and turn off hover mode, experiencing the same issues that I had last time. And now that we are up here, we will step back down here because I'm realizing we are going to start over here with some windows that will face out into a very scenic ocean. So from the outside, we will have a few 3x3 windows carved into this wall, going 2 blocks in from each of the sides, and a 1 block gap for the middle window. There we go, and then we are going to continue our windows over here. This time 2 block wide windows, but also 3 blocks tall, and these will follow along on this curved section right here. There we go, and those will just stop right there, and then these walls right here I think will remain windowless for the time being. So if we go ahead and grab out our windows here, we can start to fill in these gaps. There we go, so that takes care of those windows. And as for back here, I don't know that we are really going to have much in the way of windows, especially along this wall where we are going to have our smokestacks, which we can also start to fill in. So the smokestacks will be a 3 block wide plus pattern, spaced 2 blocks apart from each other, and we will have 3 of them in total. And these will ascend for a certain number of blocks until we decide that we reach a good height. We'll go with that for now. They will get a lot taller, but I did run out of steel. So now we can start to extend the second floor walls up to their height that they will be. So we will have a 2 block gap in between the floor and the ceiling that will allow us to have both a ceiling on the first floor and a floor on the second floor. Also, I was getting a little bit of lag, so I turned the shader profile down 1 notch. That seems to be helping out a lot. And it still looks fantastic, in my opinion, of course. I want everyone to be happy, so again, if you really don't like the shaders, I really don't mind changing it back. I can always turn them on when I'm in the world by myself. And these should line up with our windows around the edge here, and it looks like it does. So this will be the level of our second floor windows, and these will kind of extend all the way along this wall. We will have a few more than what we have on the first floor, and our front door into the factory is going to be right here. Of course, we will have many other entrances and exits. We'll probably have one right here, one back there, and of course we will have the train yard eventually that will run right into here. So let's get these second floor windows added. These are going to be exactly the same with the glass 3x3, and I need to go make some more glass. There we go, and we will fill in the bricks in between, and we will have 2 more rows of bricks on top, and this will be the total height of the factory, excluding the warehouse over there. We will also follow the same window pattern as below, going towards the middle, so we will have a couple right here. We will have one more on this diagonal plane, And then we will have a grand executive window from our office so we can look out at the ocean when we are sitting there. So we will leave that be for now. I'm actually using a different glass for that, so we will work on that a little bit later. So I'm going to get all of these walls extended up, and I'll add a little more length to the smokestacks, and then we can begin work on the roof. Okay, so the walls are all built up now, and the smokestacks are also extended to the height that they are in my plans. And right now they look a little odd, but once it is all finished and we get the roof on here, it will look very industrial and very complete. So now I think we will start lighting down here before we cover the whole thing with a roof. We don't need any mobs spawning, that's for sure. Okay, so that should do the trick. Now we can start to work on the roof. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward. We are going to start with our quartz outline, and then we will just fill in the blackstone everywhere in between, so there really isn't a whole lot to it. And we now have our first rainstorm with the shaders, and it so happens to be a thunderstorm. I think I'm gonna go sleep this one off. So the roof right here next to the smokestacks will slope down a little bit, and then it will extend out towards where we anticipate on having the train. So this will come all the way to this edge, and then it will start to work its way up towards the middle right here for another slope. And that will look something like this. And then on this curved part, the quartz is just going to follow the top half of our bricks, just like that. And then we are going to follow this same slope pattern that we had over on that side right here. So that will look like this. Now you can get a pretty good idea of how the roof will look, except for this little spot right here, which we are going to take care of real quick. And that is as simple as extending that slope all the way across. So now that we have the roof outline filled in, before we put in the blackstone, I want to fix this front wall, because I did do a little bit of a different design when I built this in creative. And the upper floor of this wall right here is actually moved back, and we have a little balcony above the front entrance. And there we go, super simple, and it looks great. I guess we need to add a couple more windows, so we are going to have a 1x2 window right here, and a couple more adjacent to them. We are going to have a door right here, that is why there is nothing in there. So from the ground, the factory looks just about finished. Of course, we are missing a couple windows right here, and there are actually a couple more that we have right here. So with all of that into place, our final step is going to be filling in the blackstone. So let me go grab some slabs, because I think I just have full blocks right now. And we will, I wonder if there is a crafting upgrade that we can add to our backpack. What do you know, there is. How about that? So let's go ahead and make the upgrade base real quick, and we can get that made. Of course, we are missing a crafting table of all things, and a crafting upgrade. And if we put that in there, can we craft? Excellent. All right, that is awesome. Oh, we can add filters to our magnet. That is cool as well. So we can craft our slabs directly from here, and they will go straight into our backpack. Okay, well, we have three main sections. We have this little sloped section right here, this much larger sloped section, and this curved section, which is just going to be one single flat roof, but it will look good, don't worry. If it didn't, I wouldn't have kept this design. So I'm gonna do each of these sections one at a time, and I will update after each one. Alright, so there is our first section done. We now have 2 to go, and I will also fill in that little gap here, and the same with the other side. And there is the second section all finished. So now all that is left is this flat section right here, and then the outside of the factory is pretty much complete. And there we go, the factory is all finished, at least from the outside. So now we can start to work on the inside. Before we do that though, I actually want to move our solar panels that we have over here, which you may have noticed I added a few more since the last time, or maybe those were there, I can't remember. But we are going to fill in this area with solar panels as I talked about in the last episode. Also, you may notice the island here is looking a little bit barren. That is because I went around and chopped down all of the trees, the magnolia trees and the oak trees, just to clean up the island a little bit and give us some more space to work with. Plus, I'm not a huge fan of those magnolia trees. I would like to plant something else, maybe something like these willow trees in this willow forest. I like the green color a lot more than the white, pink, and orange of the magnolia trees. Nonetheless though, that is all being saved for in the future. Right now, we are just focused on moving all 12 of our solar panels onto our roof. And we will get these placed down, spaced evenly on top of the roof, and it is fine if they are connecting. I'm not too worried about that. I just want to make sure that we maximize our roof space that we have, and it looks like I am short a few solar panels. I think I left off a row or two. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. Alright, and this should finish that off for us. There we go, so we will get these all wired up. I guess I could probably turn these around so they are facing this direction. And we will run a cable down this wall, or maybe through it if I can figure out the cable facades, and then we will be able to send power directly into our factory. I guess we could have another wire coming over in this direction, maybe going through the roof right there to the factory part itself rather than the warehouse. And I really need to replace that stone because we keep having a mushroom grow right here and it is destroying my garage door. Alright, that should take care of that. And we can step in here and we can close that up to keep the mobs out. And it looks like we are doing pretty good. I missed a couple of bricks right up there that I can hit real quick. There we go, and I think now that is everything. And then of course we have our door over here and this little patio right up here, which will not permanently be bricks, but I just want to get that filled in for now. We will make a lot of our stylistic choices later on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our door into place. The two that I have selected are the tall metal doors for up there and an iron sliding door for down below. So I think this one is 3 blocks wide and 3 blocks tall, if I'm not mistaken. So we will carve out a space right here for that. I guess we will move it over one more just so it is lined up, and then we can go ahead and place that down just to see how it looks. Not bad. And we can run up here, open it, we get that cool sound, an awesome animation with it, and we can close it behind us. And then up here on the balcony, we are going to have our tall metal doors placed just like that. These are like iron doors. We cannot open them without a redstone signal, but they are mostly just for aesthetics anyway. So if we step back from there, that is how this is looking now. And I think what we will do for the floor is just some very basic oak planks, but we will take these over to our carpenter's table right here, and we will pick out one that looks much more industrial. So I'm thinking maybe these stacked oak planks could work really well. They give us very large floorboards, sort of an unfinished look, which is actually kind of what we are after with this, since it is a factory and not a living room. We can actually access this. Oh wait, no we can't. The metal door is there. So we will go to the inside, and this will be placed at the same level as the balcony, and it will be 1 block below the windows. So from the first floor, that is how this will look. I may do a slab ceiling, or we might just leave it as oak. I will figure that out later on. But let's go ahead and get this entire second floor filled in, and then we'll go from there. Also, apparently, I I don't know how I didn't... These ambient sounds are just awesome. I love that mod. But I don't know how I didn't find out about this earlier, but we have this thing that we can craft called the building gadget. So let's make this real quick. We are finished with our slabs. And let's get this charged up. I think... Can we place this? I have a charger right here, so we will just put that in there. Now, apparently, this is like a world edit wand, but for survival. In fact, we are going to search building gadgets here and just see what we have. We have exchanging, copy paste, cut and paste, destruction, that could be useful, a template, red print, and maybe this is what we want, gadgets for derps. So let's go ahead and read up on this, shall we? It looks sort of like the Mystical Agriculture book, alright. So the basics. All of the gadgets in this mod require FE to do most of their functions. Many mods add support for charging items with FE, but if you don't have any of them, there's always charging gadgets. Available at a mod repository near you. That's not an issue for us, we have many other options. And then it also says each gadget has different settings, so ensure you review the mechanics chapter for more details. So let's have a look at the building gadget, shall we? The building gadget makes building a large number of blocks all at once extremely easy. First, ensure the gadget has some energy. Second, shift right-click a block in the world to specify the block you want to build with. You can choose your building mode by holding the settings key. Each mode is described in its appropriate entry in this book. The default is build to me. When looking at a block in the world, you'll see a ghostly image of the blocks that will be placed. If you're missing the required items or energy to place these blocks, they will have a red overlay. Right-click to place blocks as shown. And this is important. We can... Oh wait, no, we can undo. Okay. That is useful. Alright, when you right-click, building will begin, items will be taken from your inventory. So, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. I just need to figure out how we open the settings of the build gadget. I guess we can store... We're done with the glass for now. We'll store that away. We'll keep the book handy. So, somehow we open these settings. Okay, I looked at my hotkeys. It is G, so we will hit that, and it looks like G is also something else, but that is not a problem. So I think what we want is maybe a surface. Is that what we are after? Surface? Let's select that, and let's go ahead and see if this will work for our floor. So we shift right-click the oak planks with our building gadget, and that should allow us to place these down. That is only showing one though. So maybe we want a horizontal wall. Maybe if we stand from this side, horizontal row. That's not it. But this is very convenient because I can place blocks all the way over there at that wall. So it definitely has some fantastic range. I just can't figure out the row, how we get to place this, so I may have to look this one up. Alright, I am getting this figured out. I just need to change a few more hotkeys because the same one that changes our range also changes the shaders, or reloads them, I should say. And that explains why I was having such bad lag too every time I changed the range. But we are good now, so we are really in business. This is wonderful. So we have horizontal wall. We could set it to horizontal row, maybe, if Lord Gregory the Dragonborn doesn't interrupt us. But he is alarmingly close to the warehouse. We are going to step up here, and there we go. That's what we want. So now if we increase this range a little bit more, then we can just stand here and right click going across. How about this? This is going to save so much time. I wish I knew about this a little bit earlier. But hey, we have to do a little bit of building right And now I have to figure out what we are going to do about this beehive. I guess I can go get a campfire. The only thing is I don't have any Silk Touch tools, but I do know how to make some with brass. So I think we will do that. We have to remove that one as well anyway. So we are going to make another repair kit. I forgot I have made a brass pickaxe in the back, so we should just be able to repair that a little bit with the 1 ingot that I have. This will allow us to break the beehive. I just need to get a smoker, or not a smoker, a campfire, and I'm realizing now it probably wasn't a very good idea for me to sleep, but that's okay. So I'm gonna actually make 4 of these, because I want to place these inside of our smokestacks over here as well. There are other smoker blocks, but we can't really afford those right now, so we will just stick with campfires. And if we step back, now it looks like our factory actually has some life, so that is wonderful. We will place down this campfire and remove these 2 beehives when night falls. For now, we can just get our floor finished up. And I wonder what the max range on this is. 15, okay. Alright, and then right over here, we are going to leave this area open as well for another taller ceiling. And we may or may not fill in this floor at some point, but again, we are going to have our trains coming into here, and we want to have enough clearance for those. So let's finish placing some torches up here just to illuminate it a little bit more. We don't want any monster spawns anywhere in here, and we can work on our big grand window here on the corner of this curved section. So this is going to be a 4-block tall window, and it's going to be a few blocks wide on each side. There we go, something like that. So I'm gonna go grab some glass for this, and we will get that filled in. And I think we will maybe go for this clear leaded glass. Although I kind of like the arched leaded glass pillars as well, so maybe we will go with that. Of course, we can always change it to if we want. And we can get this filled in right here. Yeah, I think this is going to be a nice design for this. Let's step back and take a look. Not bad. It's nice and clear. We don't have anything obstructing our view. And that, again, is a very nice view. This is going to be our office. So now we need to get the ceiling put in up here. We are going to do some kind of slab for that, but I'm not sure which slab yet. We will take care of that here in just a moment though. So I think I had mentioned this in the last episode, but I want to do sort of like a balcony that overlooks the warehouse from the 2nd floor. So we are going to remove this wall right here, or at least a part of it. Maybe something like this, so we will keep this wall in line with that one over there, but have this open right here, and we will be able to see into the factory. I think we will stick with the oak planks. There we go. And then we will figure out a railing for that. So let's have a look at the railings that we could potentially use. We have some in Macaw's fences, and I know there are many other fences if we just look that up. Let's see what there are. Maybe the wrought iron fence. I don't think we're ready for anything like that. And then walls. Let's see what we have for walls. We could always go with the pillar walls that we used for the rafters as well, and I think we might do that. Except this time we will use blackstone instead of the deep slate that we used before. And we will get these placed going across. Yeah, I like the contrast that that has with the oak. And let's see how it looks from down below, which I'm realizing we don't have a staircase yet, so we will have to jump that. We'll take a little bit of damage, but that's okay. Yeah, I like that. And I'm thinking, what if we just brought this wall all the way down to the floor? Something like that. Yeah, I think that works. And maybe we could do the same thing over here on this side as well, just to break off that section from the front door with the rest of this warehouse. Excellent. And it is nighttime now, so I think we will go ahead and put a fire under the beehive. Hopefully that is enough range. It should be. So let's go ahead and break that with our silk touch. There we go. And we now have a beehive in our backpack right here. And we will do one more right over here. I guess it's actually showing that there aren't any bees in there. I didn't notice that before on the other. So I'm not sure. We'll have to place it down and find out. But all that matters is now those are removed from the factory. We can finish up that floor right there. And now the factory interior is ours. Whoa, look at that. We have a rainbow. That is pretty cool. It did rain the night before, and now the sun is shining over there. That's awesome. Alright, I guess that will probably go away. Yeah, it looks like it is fading, but that is definitely a nice aesthetic. I know I'm biased, but hey, I think we should keep the shaders. So let's have a look at the slabs that we could potentially use for the ceiling. I think we will go with these polished cut andesite slabs, so let's see if we have any andesite, and we do not. Okay, so maybe that's off the table. We could always go set up the digital miner somewhere to do that for us, or we can just work with what we have. And I think I will just go with a mangrove. I think that will work just fine for us. Plus, it is very affordable given our nature essence that we have. So we will make a handful of these slabs and we can head back into the factory and finish up the interior. So these will be placed right up here and these will just follow. Is that too similar to the roof or the brick walls? I mean, I don't know. I think it will be okay. I think that's fine. So we should be able to hopefully use our building gadget with this. Let's up the range a little bit. I guess we could just set it to its max here. And we can just quickly fill all of this in going across. How convenient is that? I'm so glad I discovered this. And look at that, we are already filled in to the edge of that brick there. And then these slabs will follow up the ceiling going all the way across. And there we go, the ceiling is all in place now, and I think it looks great. So that is where we are going to end it for today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the shaders. Of course, though, let me know if you didn't, but also let me know if you did. I would love to hear your opinions about that. I'm so glad we discovered that building gadget. That is going to make life so much easier for us here on our island. In the next episode, we are going to do some exploration. We are taking our jetpack overseas and we are going to go find some new biomes. If you enjoyed today's episode, definitely hit that thumbs up button and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on daily content as soon as I publish it. Check the description for some more important information, links, how to contact me, all of that good stuff. And with all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye!